Hello everyone! In the previous video, I taught you how to calculate interest on reducing balance. Today, we are going to learn how to calculate compound interest. So what are the situations in which we calculate compound interest? Well, the compound interest method can be used when calculating the interest on a loan as well as interest on a deposit. So let's think that this is John. John deposited 25,000 rupees in a bank for 3 years for an annual interest rate of 8%. So John deposited 25,000 rupees as a fixed deposit in a bank for 3 years for an annual interest rate of 8%. And now we want to know the total amount that he would receive at the end of 3 years. We have to find this. To calculate the total amount that John will receive at the end of 3 years, we have two methods. The first method, what we do in the first method is we calculate the total amount he would get at the end of each year, and we finally find the total amount he would get after 3 years. In the second method, what we do is we directly calculate the total amount that John would receive after 3 years. So now let's calculate the total amount that John will receive after 3 years using the first method. So for that, first let's calculate the total amount that John will receive at the end of the first year. What is that amount? It's 25,000 rupees into 108 per 100. This is equal to 27,000. Next, let's calculate the total amount that John will receive at the end of the second year. That amount is 27,000 rupees into 108 over 100. This is equal to 29,160 rupees. Finally, let's calculate the total amount that John will receive at the end of 3 years. That is equal to 29,160 into 108 divided by 100. This is equal to 31,492 rupees and 8 cents. This is the total amount that John will receive at the end of 3 years. Now let's calculate the amount of money that John will receive at the end of 3 years without calculating the amounts of money that he will receive at the end of each year. Without calculating the amount that John will receive at the end of each year, we are going to directly calculate the total amount that John will receive at the end of 3 years. How do we do that? Well, what you should do is you should multiply 25,000 by 108 and divide it by 100. What do you get? You get the total amount that John will receive at the end of the first year. Now we have to calculate the interest on that amount. How do we do that? We multiply it by 108 and divide it by 100. This is the amount that you will get that John will get at the end of 2 years. And now we have to find the amount that John will receive at the end of 3 years. How do we do that? We multiply it by 108 and divide by 100. This is the amount that John will receive at the end of 3 years. This is equal to 31,492 and 8 cents. 31,492 rupees and 8 cents. So what do we do in the compound interest method? We add the interest to the principal amount. What do we get? The compounded amount. Let's call it C. So addition of interest to the principal amount is known as compounding. What do we get? The compounded amount. And then we calculate the interest on the compounded amount. Then we calculate the interest on the compounded amount. This process is called compound interest method. Addition of interest to the principal amount and then calculating the interest on the compounded amount is called compound interest method. I hope you understood this lesson. Thank you for watching.